as traders, what do you make of the stabilization of the city as we speak currently? What do you make of it?
Okay, thank you and good morning to you and to your listeners. As we speak now, the currency is not stable because day in and day out we see some downward trend in terms of the city performance, forest performance. It's not stable, and that gives us some little worry because one of the challenges of business is about ability to predict, ability to have proper forecasting. But so when you see day in and day out forest reduction, you want to know at what point do you want to peg your prices. That's one of the challenges we are faced with. So you wake up and everybody's calling you, when are you going to reduce prices? You don't know how to do that.
When you speak like this, it's not a matter of where the fluctuation is such that it comes down and goes up and comes down and goes up. But the fluctuation we're seeing in terms of the cedi against the dollar is the fact that it's come down.
It is coming down.
Yes, it's coming down.
So we won't get a point where it receded. Okay.
So the fact that it's coming down,
yes.
Why can't you use that as a basis to say, okay, at one point in time it was around 18, it got to 17, now we are 13.5. It's done very well. Based on that, we're going to do some adjustments. Why can't you use that as a basis?
You see, as much as we appreciate that city is gaining some strength, it must be stated that Forex is not the only determinant in terms of our price build-up. There are other factors we consider in determining the price of markets.
Such as?
Oh, you look at cost of borrowing. If you're into manufacturing, you want to look at tariffs, utility tariffs. You want to look at inflation. You want to look at taxes. These are some of the things we
So
look
let's
at.
say you talk about taxes.
Yes.
Haven't we seen some good gesture from the president, for example? I mean, the e-levy was one of the levies or taxes that traders like yourself were talking about. The e-levy has been done away with. You talk about inflation. As we speak, inflation is doing well. It's 21.2 or something percent. So these are things that you can also factor and say that apart from the city, the other components that you talk about have also seen some reduction.
So we want to look at positive correlation that Forex will have on all these indicators we talk about. As we speak now, cost of borrowing is still the same. As we speak now, consumption tax, which is VAT, is the same. You get my point? So yes, we've seen some little drop of inflation by 100 basis points, fine. But that is not enough in terms of your price build-up. So what we want to say is that, yes, the call for price reduction is in order, but we are also mindful that we are holding stocks that probably we purchased at a certain rate, which was higher than the current rate. If you want to reduce prices without taking into consideration some of these things, you'll be pricing yourself out from the market in terms of capital loss. So as businesses, we work within a certain space. That space that we work in is influenced by market forces. We don't pride ourselves in holding prices high, because if you do that, sometimes it doesn't make economic sense.
As we speak, it doesn't make economic sense.
No, it doesn't make
because
economic sense.
If you indulge me,
rush.
indulge me. If the city over the past few weeks, or let's say months, have seen some appreciation, you would have increased your prices and said that because the city is going up. You would have increased it as we speak. And I'm happy that you're nodding in agreement. But the point is this: now it's come down, and you're telling us about other market forces.
You see, that suggests to anybody who is so much interested in appreciating the dynamics within the business environment is the dollar or the forex is the weakest link in terms of doing business in Ghana. That is why an upward adjustment of forex exposes us to a lot of capital loss. Anytime the dollar appreciates, the first effect to business is capital loss. We are able to contain some of the factors because we probably want to give a room to absorb certain costs. But when the dollar misbehaves, we can't have that extra luxury to hold on to that cost.
No, but explain that to me better. If you call it misbehavior, but let me use the first word you used. If the dollar appreciates against the cedi, you are quick to increase your hold on. you're quick to increase your prices.
Yes.
But when the dollar or the city does better against the dollar, you are not quick to reduce it. Why?
I'm explaining to you to appreciate that. It suggests to you that the dollar or the forex is the weakest link.
That a bit ahead. But in as much as when it is weak or not, as and when there's an appreciation of the dollar, you are quick to increase your prices. In that same regard, you should be able to reduce it.
No.
When the CD is doing better against the dollar.
No. Please take your time and let's go through this together.
Go ahead.
I am saying this, that the forex is the weakest link in terms of doing business in Ghana. That is why any adjustment of forex upwards exposes us to capital loss. 1. 2, we are not able to immediately respond to an upward appreciation of our currency because of cost of replacement. I might have had some stock at a certain rate, like 15 Ghana cedis to $1. That stock is still sitting in my warehouse. When dollar comes down and you're asking me to sell it to correspond immediately to the change in forex, you are not doing as good. The reason is I might have borrowed money from the bank to acquire those or to replace those stocks. Anything less than that means that I will be exposing myself to the capital loss I'm talking about. So let me tell you this. We are going to see some reduction in prices, but it might not be that immediate that we are all expecting. Because, 1, those holding old stocks have to sell it off, and in their replacement, if they are able to get it at the current rate, that is where they will sell it according to the details in the market.
The prices at which they are selling right now, Uncle Tony, I'll come to you shortly. The prices at which they are selling right now, based on the old stock, and please put your phone on silent for me, or put it on the carpet for me, I'll be glad. As we speak currently, the old stocks that you have, looking at the price at which you bought those items, and the fact that the city is doing very well right now, you're making profits. That's a rip-off to the customer.
No, you're not making profits.
You're making profits.
Let me
hold on.
Let me close this conversation with this. My supplier gave me stocks at the price of 100 Ghana cedis at the time that the dollar was 15 cedis, and it's on credit. So I'm holding on to this stock as we speak now.
At the 15
yes.
cedis to $1?
Yes. I'm holding that stock as we speak now. Now, forex have come down.
To let's say 13 as it is now.
Yes. So I took these goods in credit. So I'm supposed to pay my supplier 100 Ghana cedis. Forex have come down. You are asking me to reduce it to 80 Ghana cedis. That 20 Ghana cedis difference, how do I pay my supplier?
Can I answer that question for you?
Please do.
Very well.
I don't know whether you answer questions here.
No, but something you put out.
Let me come in with that.
You put out something.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the fact that you purchased those commodities or those goods at the time when the city was 15.
Yes.
Now the city is, let's say, at 13. So, which means that if you keep selling it at the price of the 15, you are making much more money to the detriment of the 13.
You still don't get it.
You still no.
You see,
why shouldn't I get it? Because the point is
let me come in.
Tony, come in.
You make